I'm convinced that about half of what separates the successful entrepreneurs from the non-successful ones is pure perseverance. It is so hard. You pour so much of your life into this thing. There are such rough moments in time that most people give up.
You should take the approach that you're wrong. You know, that you, the entrepreneur, are wrong. Your goal is to be less wrong.
And it consumes your life. I mean, if you've got a family and you're in the early days of a company, I can't imagine how one could do it. I'm sure it's been done, but it's rough. I mean, because it's pretty much an 18-hour-a-day job, 7 days a week for a while.
Climbing up the mountain is a whole different level of stress because you've got this goal. You're trying to get up the mountain, right? And you've just got this single focus of trying to do it. And then when you're there, you realize that, okay, I'm there, but now everybody's trying to kick my ass. So everybody's coming after you, which is when you're chasing somebody, it's a different set of stresses than when you're being chased.
There are things that I don't enjoy, but if I'm really objective about it and I look at it, I'm so lucky to be working alongside all these passionate people, and I love it. We wake up, let's say you're the leader in a particular arena, if you're competitor focused and you're already the leader, then where does your energy come from? Whereas if you're customer focused and you're already the leader, customers are never satisfied. So if you're customer focused, you're always waking up, how can we make that customer say, wow? How can we, our energy, our passion, we want to impress our customers. We want them to say, wow, is that kind of divine discontent comes from observing customers and noticing that, things can always be better.
Unless you have a lot of passion about this, you're going to not survive. You're going to give it up. So you got to have an idea or a problem or a wrong that you want to right that you're passionate about. Otherwise, you're not going to have the perseverance to stick it through. And I think that's half the battle right there.
Most successful entrepreneurs are not waiting
for it to come to them,
for success and not waiting for progress. We are generally a little bit forward-leaning when it comes to trying to make progress happen. For me, it's about problem solving and loving to solve problems. And so if you are passionate about solving problems, sometimes I just like to describe this as like, imagine a really great math professor with no problems to solve. A great math professor is somebody who wants the hardest problems, who wants to solve them and loves solving them. That's kind of how I feel about my work. And so it's not about a man in a hurry. It's more about really interesting problems in the world and how do you lean into them and solve things that people maybe thought weren't even possible to solve, and that's fun.
if you want to give, the KPI to your people, it should be very specific. And then people know it's serious. 102 years that we were born in 1999, Alibaba. So last century we had 1 year, and this century we want to have 100 years. Next century, 1 year. 102 cross 3 centuries. So very specific. So in our company, we never talk you're successful or not, because we think there are 86 years. Next 86 years, there are many chances that fail. So that's why we say, don't talk about you're successful.
The more prepared you are, the less risk there is. Most people think, I'm just going to wing it, and that's why it's risky.
Part of being ourselves is sort of reimagining the way things could be done. So we like to take the impossible, we like to take the old way of doing things and just completely change it. That's part of who we are.
Think about anti-corruption and rule by law is laying a great foundation for the market economy. You don't want to go do business by bribery. You don't want to have an unfair environment. The market economy is by rule by law. The market economy is about clear, transparent, and fair. And don't worry about the things the president is worried about. Worry about the things that nobody worry about.